Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. It's Monday. It is Monday. That can only mean one thing for the video. Another return of the Primarchs. And this time we're going into Mr. Ravenboy, Mr. Squawk Squawk, Mr. Nevermore, I'm out of here, Corax. So let's jump in and let's discuss the possible return of Corax in the 8th edition story setting. If you're joining me for the first time, this series is dedicated to me just theorizing about every Primarch and their possible return in the 8th edition, even the dead ones, the most outrageous theories, getting any bit of lore and just piecing it together and just putting it out there. Nothing is confirmed at all. It's just me theorizing, me just putting stuff together, and basically me just hoping and begging the Emperor and GW to bring more Primarchs back. Right, let's jump in and let's get started. So Corax was the Primarch of the 19th Legion, the Ravenguard, and during the Great Crusade they went out and they purged as everything. Their Legion is mostly down to stealth tactics. They're not stealth tactics like the Alpha Legion, where that's more like espionage kind of stuff. These chaps are like, you know, basically the B-52 bombers that are, sneak in under the radar, slit your throat, and you're out before you can say, like, what the hell has just happened. That is how the Ravenguard do stuff. You basically find them, like, hanging upside down from, like, gantries in the dark, going squawk, squawk, and stuff like that. They're very, very weird. Yeah, very, very weird Legion. Now, at the start of the Horus Heresy, or should I say the Drop Site Massacre, where the Ravenguard, the Salamanders, and all the Loyalists went there thinking they were going to win, the Ravenguard got the brunt of it. If I recall correctly, I think Corax escaped from the Drop Site Massacre with around 3,000 Marines out of, an entire Legion. The rest of his Legion was absolutely decimated and wiped out at the Drop Site Massacre. Corax, seeing his Legion in complete disarray and just not there anymore, basically went to Terra. He had an audience with the Emperor, who was like kind of strapped into the Golden Throne fighting the demons, and he was speaking to Corax and stuff like that. And eventually Corax went through this whole like maze and trial and everything like that, and he actually got the gene seed, or should I say like the biological key to making Astartes and stuff like that, so he could rebuild his Legion for the Emperor. The Emperor trusted him to say, okay, go out and make your Legion anew, and that's what his plan was. His plan was to like mass make his Legion again and take the fight to the enemy. But in the meantime, Alpha Legion trickery got involved, and they kind of swapped around the vials of what it was, and he basically ended making like gene like Astartes, but they were like all like Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of monsters, like kind of all like messed up, because the Alpha Legion swapped it around with like some kind of chaos infused something. It was really, really like monsters like hunchbacks and like Mah! And all that kind of stuff. They could still put power armor on and stuff like that. They're like brutally strong and all that kind of stuff, but they were like, only a face a mother could love. Now, as of the lore, that's really all we have for the Ravenguard thus far. We don't know if they're going to be coming back for the Siege of Terra, like just making it at the end or anything like that. All we know is that they're actually out at the moment in the broader galaxy, like doing hit and run tactics on Horus, trying to slow down his supply runs and everything like that. Everything just to like really take it to him. I don't know really why these Primarchs want to go out into the galaxy and try and do this kind of stuff where the big fight is going to be decided at Terra. Maybe it's just plot, I'm not too sure, but all we know now is that Corax during the Horus Heresy was just out doing the hit and run tactics, just trying to make a mess of the back lines of Horus's stuff. Now, after the Horus Heresy ended and the legions were like, just going out and doing the scouring and stuff, again, we really don't know what the Ravenguard got up to. What we do know is that, according to the old lore, Corax basically said, like, nevermore. He was so ashamed that he created, like, all these monsters of his legions, because they got, like, gradually worse and become, like, more, like, derpy and stuff like that. I think in the old lore it stated that he actually kills them, gives them, like, a quick death, just to say sorry, because these guys are just like complete monsters. And then he basically doesn't cry, but he gets like upset and shouts nevermore and vanishes into the Eye of Terror to seek vengeance upon his fallen brothers and all that kind of stuff. And that really is all we had until a couple of months back, when there was a book released called Sons of the Emperor. It is an event only book which you can get at, you know, these Black Library events and the Forge World events at Warhammer World, and, you know, basically all the big events that you can go to, you can pick up this book. It only sells at these events, and it has loads of stories of like the Primarchs in it and stuff like that. And there's a story in there called Shadow of the Past by Gav Thorpe, and it actually speaks about Corax in the Eye of Terror hunting one of his brothers, and it's really, really awesome. So in this tale, by the way, this is spoilers, and I'm not sure if you don't want to listen to this, but in this tale, there's some word bearers, and they're basically building like a shrine or a monument, like some kind of statue in the Eye of Terror to the Dark Gods, you know, as word bearers do, absolute bastards, to gain Lorgar's favor. And all of a sudden, there's like this shadowy beast that keeps like just going over and just killing them all. And the word bearers think, oh my god, this is like a demon, you know, great demon. We've summoned a great demon. What can we do? So they go back to Lorgar and say, help us. We're trying to build this shrine and stuff, and there's a great demon, a shadowy great demon that's basically butchering us and killing us. Can you come and banish it? So Lorgar comes, and he's like, all right, let's do this. And he basically sees it and says, that is not a great demon. That is my brother. So it's revealed that it's actually Corax, who is this like this shadowy warp demon, and he's going around just like purging and killing everything. He can like I said, he can like go through all the warp stuff, which is really, really strange. Him and Lorgar have a brief conversation, and it's revealed then to Lorgar that Corax knows like the Emperor made them with warp powers, and he's embracing his warp side. He's not gone like full demon or anything like that, but he knows the powers that were made to create him, and he's using them powers to, you know, like to make himself into like these shadowy like demonic figures, to break through the chaos barriers, all that kind of space, to survive in the Eye of Terror and just, you know, kill the enemy and all that kind of stuff. Lorgar basically flees with the word bearers through this portal where Corax can't follow, and Corax says to him, it's a badass thing, he says, don't worry brother, I have your scent now, I will find you and I will kill you. He basically goes like all Taken mode, like Liam Nielsen, and says, right, that's it, you are mine, don't worry, I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you. And there's a bit of beef between Lorgar and Corax, since Lorgar and Corax fought on Istvan, and Corax was about to absolutely kill Lorgar, but then the Night Haunted interrupted and Corax had to retreat back. So I'm wondering if that is going to be something in the near future, with them two having like a little kind of battle or something. Now the huge thing about this is that it's confirmed that Corax is alive, because a lot of people thought that Corax just went into the Eye of Terror and he basically got himself killed, or he just vanished or whatever. Corax is alive. He's alive in the Eye of Terror. Now, of course, time works differently in the Eye of Terror, so he may be gone for like a week, according to his mind, and 10,000 years have passed like in real time. But we know now that Corax is actively alive, he's in the warp, and he's purging, he's killing, he's embraced his warp side, and this is... it goes down really so many possibilities if he was returned to the Imperium of today in the 8th edition storyline. Now, one big thing would be, if he did return, right, is how people would take this Corax. This Corax is different to like the Horus Heresy Great Crusade Corax. Like I said, he's embraced the, not chaosy side, but the warp powers inside of him. If he can transform himself into like a shadowy demon type of figure and do like all chaos, like sorcery kind, well not sorcery, but you know, like go through chaos stuff, how would that reflect on his chapter? Would his chapter look at him and think, okay, this guy may be a bit too much for us? How would Guilliman react? I think that's going to be kind of interesting. Guilliman and Corax, as far as I'm aware, never really had any issues at all. I think if I recall correctly, Corax was one of the only people to beat Rabute in like war games, because when they were like, you know, doing it like on the strategic table and stuff like that, Corax like made sure like all the entire cities revolted, so he had like a massive amount of troops. Guilliman obviously learned from this and he corrected his failings and stuff like that, but at the start he was like the only person to ever beat Guilliman when it comes to strategic things. So I think they do share like love for each other. I'm not sure if it's like let's call it passionate love like Rogel Dawn and Guilliman, even though they had a bit of bickering with you know, the whole Codex Astartes breaking up and stuff, they still respected each other and saw each other in high regard. I'm not sure Corax and Guilliman see each other just like that, but what we know is that the more Primarchs that come back, demonic Primarchs come back, I think the bigger chance of Corax coming back. Now, Corax has got Lorgar's scent, so if Lorgar comes back into the real space, let's say the the current Imperial storyline in 8th edition, then I would definitely bet that Corax would be the person to follow him out of the Eye of Terror and do his hunt, to hunt him down. Now this is where I personally think Corax will fit into the 8th edition story. I don't think he'll come back, and I don't think he'll like link up with like his chapter, or follow Guilliman's orders or anything like that. I think Corax now is out to be a lone warrior, to be a lone Primarch in the galaxy, and just carry on his hunt in seclusion, more or less. Just keep himself to himself. Maybe he'll have like a ship, or one ship. Of course, he can't teleport around, or can he teleport around now? I don't know what access he has now to the warp. I think this is some of the interesting stuff, is what they can do now with his warp connection to his powers and stuff like that. And how will the other Primarchs, if we get other loyalist Primarchs, react to that? Will they then embrace their warp side, or will they like, no, I'm not going to be messing with that? I don't see Guilliman going down that route. I think Guilliman's happy of where he is and what he's doing. I don't see him embracing anything like that. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the Lion sees this and he sees it as like a tactical advantage. That's if the Lion does come back, by the way. I'm jumping the gun here. But if the Lion comes back and he sees Corax come back, and he sees like Corax using like these warp powers that the Emperor gave him, is he going to say, right, there's a tactical advantage to this, I'm going to embrace mine? And then, the Lion's lost as always. Just kidding. But yeah, I definitely see Corax coming back as a lone guy, and just keeping himself to himself, not really getting involved in the politics of the Imperial, not getting involved in like the greater campaigns or anything like that. He's basically there just to hunt down his brothers, just to go in there under stealth, slice their throat, take their head, do whatever he wants to do to their corpse, and just get out of there. Whatever happens, I think it's very, very interesting now with this short story. If you haven't read it, you should go and try and find it on eBay. I know some people sell those books for like triple the price, so you have to be careful picking that stuff up. But it's a very, very interesting read. Completely blew me away when I read it. I was like, wow, are they really going this far post-heresy about Primarchs and stuff like that? It's a big, big hint. I think they're definitely setting something up. I'm not sure if he's going to be the next Primarch coming back, but it's there now, setting foundation that he has a background and a setting now to come back and come back to the 8th edition story, and come back into all the what we have going on now with like the campaigns and Guilliman and stuff like that. So it's definitely there for him to come back. They've definitely set that foundation down for his return. Alright chaps, that is me done for another video. As always, if you want the next Primarch, just post it below and I'll count it, do my best, and then we'll get that Primarch up and rock and rolling. What do you think about Corax? Do you think he can return? Have you read this short story? Did you like it? I thought it was an awesome short story. What do you think of him embracing his like chaosy side and using his powers to thwart the enemy and just basically take the fight to them in the Eye of Terror? I personally think it's amazing. Corax is like Batman of 40k. I know people keep saying Nighthawker's Batman, but it's not. It's Corax. Corax is definitely my Batman of 40k. Nighthawker is, I don't know, he can be like Batgirl or something. He's a whiny little wimp. But Corax is definitely my Batman. Right, I'm going to stop before I'm just rambling on. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know who you want next in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you all very, very soon. See you now, and bye-bye.